Folks, the Warriors Summer League is now over. 7-1, won the California Classic 3-0, went 4-1 in Vegas, lost in the semifinals to the Miami Heat. Pretty good summer. Thank you, Larry David. So the question is, what are the key takeaways from this summer league, this team, that can be used in our Santa Cruz Warriors, the G League team, training camp, and the regular season? On this episode of Warriors Digest, Randy Silver here. We're going to break down the biggest 5 key takeaways and dive all into this summer league team and say goodbye to it. If you haven't been with us, we follow everything here in Warriors Digest: summer league, free agency, trades, rumors, Team USA, and of course, Golden State Warriors regular season, which is coming around the corner quicker than you think. Before we get into it, please subscribe, and if you're not, you're missing out on great fan feedback and viewership like this. Roosevelt, keep us informed, sir. For fire content, my boy, you king. I am out there putting 2 episodes a day for y'all. If you want to be part of it, not missing any Warriors news, subscribe. ZX Layer, love the news and updates. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody giving me all the fun comments and everything. Now, let's dive into this Summer League team and the 5 key takeaways. So again, 5 main takeaways. If you've been with us for a while, you're going to know some of it. It's not going to be brand new. We've been talking about it because we keep you updated. But now we'll have more time to kind of peel back the banana and dive into it and reminisce about a pretty good summer. So number 1, Daeqwon Plowden. One more time. Daeqwon Plowden. No other way around it. He earned himself a 2-way contract. If first impressions are everything, we should have known it all about Daeqwon Plowden after the Warriors' blowout win to open the California Classic. Plowden was a plus 41 in the win over the Heat. Plus 41. That means when he was on the floor, the Warriors outscored the opponents plus 41. Plus minus efficiency. Wild. The 25-year-old undrafted wing scored 26 points, shot the ball 10 of 14, draining 6 threes. Then he continued on balling out at California Classic, balled out in Las Vegas, earning himself a 2-way contract. I think in the 3rd game in Vegas, we reported on it. So if we show you this right here, again, here's what our team is looking like in terms of salary and players. You see right there at the bottom, TW, 2-way contract. Pat Spencer, Reese Beekman, Daeqwon Plowden. Spencer, has been with this team since last year. He's 27-28. Beekman, undrafted rookie. Plowden. And you can now see this is updated with Jackson Rowe, who we just reported on earlier not earlier today, it was yesterday, earned a a training camp contract. Was with the G League team last year, Santa Cruz Warriors. With the training camp, we'll see what happens if he goes back to G League or will get signed by another team. Sorry, I have something in my throat. So let's go back to Plowden, the first thing. So what did he do? Let me make this bigger so you can see it if you need some help. He basically averaged 15 points a game this summer, 48% shooting, 47% shooting, 40% from 3. A 3-and-D player. He had multiple chase down blocks, multiple big dunks, especially putback dunks. So he didn't get boxed out, crashed the rim, got dunks. His threes were silky smooth, wet, all net, and earned himself a 2-way contract. He could be a diamond in the rough for this team. You play around 50 to 55 games on a 2-way contract with the roster, the main roster, and you're in the G League. So he will continue to start with the G League Warriors, Santa Cruz Warriors, and be able to get more reps. In some injuries, days off, he can play with this team in Golden State and San Francisco and will ball out. I have no doubt about it. I think he has potential here to be a solid role player for this team as the season goes on. Now let's talk about 2-way contracts. I kind of already buried my lead by showing it. So Plowden, this is number 2 topic. So Plowden got the 2-way contract. Pat Spencer has been on one since last year. And they now signed Reese Beekman to a 2-way contract. The product out of Virginia, a 2-time All-ACC Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time All ACC defensive team. So now the odd man comes out, Quinten Post. Where's Quinten Post here? He will have to get signed to the main roster. So that probably means you have to cut maybe Waters or Santos. I don't see it being Waters because they just traded for him. So why would you trade for a player to then cut? Because they traded away cash. Just keep that cash at that point. Spencer, potentially the casualty, and put Post on a 2-way contract. But he balled out this summer, especially after the summer league when we found out that they signed Plowden. So I'm not sure if they get rid of him. Spencer's upper to mid 20s. Post, young 20s. So if you're looking for someone with more potential grow with this team, then you would keep Post. But Spencer looks like the game is just in slow motion for him, playing at point guard position. You really have Steph as your number 1 point guard. Brandon's 2. But other than that, you don't have another true point guard on this roster. It would be Spencer. So you may need to keep him for depth. Just be aware of that. So again, Beekman, NBA defender, as I already mentioned. Plowden plays both sides of the ball. So a lot to like here. Now the question also was, what about Knox? Could he be a 2-way player? The answer is no, because, oops, let me make this bigger. Sorry, we're skipping. We're going to go to Post in a second. Knox cannot be a 2-way player. He was drafted in 2019, so this is going to be his 5th year in the league. And to be a 2-way player, you have to be in the league for, I have it right here, less than 4 years. So his time is up to be considered a 2-way player. He has to be on the main roster. As you just saw, we don't have any space for Kevin Knox on the main roster. So that means most likely he's paid his dues with us. Maybe he's training camp, kick someone off the main roster, they cut him, and he joins. But I think that Knox will end up with another NBA team. Now we can go to Quinten Post. We only got to see him play in 2 games, but we saw flashes of why the Warriors signed him. Let me make this bigger. Sorry. Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy began the second day of the draft by trading their only pick, number 52 overall, to OKC for Lindy Waters III. Again, that's why I don't think they're going to trade him, because why would you, or cut him because they want him on as a depth shooter. BC big man Quinten Post, the Dutch, picked with the 52nd pick when we got it back. We got his Dunleavy acquired post-draft rights for cash considerations, and the sum further showed why in his first summer league game, after missing the first 6 to a leg injury. Post was +5 in 42 minutes, playing 7 minutes in each half. He scored 10 points, made 2 of 4 of his 3-point attempts. Per GM Larry Harris, the biggest thing we saw right away is that offensively, he was what we were hoping he can be. Moves well, run up, run down the court, spacing, can pass. Good handles for a big guy, and shoots the 3 well. Offensive side, we feel pretty good. However, his defense wasn't the best. He looked stiff, wasn't able to move laterally side to side, isn't a really elite athlete. That is something when you're in an NBA program, they'll work on that day after day after day. But as a 7-foot big man, shooting, passing, stretching the floor, something we haven't had on this team since KD. And I saw a comment or a couple saying, how can you compare Post to KD? They're not. KD is a top player all time, was on the top 75 list, is one of the best players of all time. But in terms of what they bring to the team, length, ability, shooting at the size, similar type of player, but no, Post is not KD. I get it. So I mentioned Kevin Knox, so this is number 4. Killed it. His career looked like it was on a tailspin down. The number 9 pick in the 2019 draft. Knicks took him, wasn't doing a lot, but he came on this roster and played well. Defensively, offensively, was efficient, was running the floor, made everybody look really good on the team. I like what he provided, senior leadership, when it wasn't Brandon or Trace Jackson Davis. Now, again, the question is, where does he fit on this team? In the semifinals against the Heat, when Plowden shot the ball really poor, and it happens, Knox had a game-high 31 points off the bench. 12 of 17 shooting, 5 of 10 from deep, and a game-high 11 rebounds. For the Summer League, He averaged 18 points and 8 rebounds, shooting 50, 37, 95. That's pretty good. An NBA team is going to pick up Kevin Knox. The question is, who will it be, where will it be, and when will it be? As you see right there, it likely won't be in San Francisco. Waters and Santos are both on non-guaranteed deals. Knox could come to training camp and compete for one of those roster spots. Dunleavy also said he expects Waters to compete for rotation minutes, and Santos is a cheap development player the Warriors do like. So let's go to this really quick. So the question is, where was Santos all summer? He was on the Brazilian national team. So he's playing in the Olympics, high-level competition, been doing all the preseason matches, the tournament lead-up, now the Olympics. So you have Waters and Santos on non-guaranteed spots. So that means Rowe's competing for that as a training camp person. Again, maybe you bring in Knox, but I think another team will bring him in as a roster guy. Thompson potentially did really well for us. So did Collins, Mantis. So there's going to be competition. And then, of course, Quinten Post. So you have to think Post has the inside position. You see what I did there for either Santos or Waters spot. I think it's Santos. Waters, I feel like, is going to be part of this rotation because he's a good shooter. And then lastly, but not least, Podziemski and TJD. We wanted them to step up this offseason, be leaders. Instead of being followers in the rookie year, hey, you're not the guy on the court, you're not the vocal guy, you're not getting the ball in your hands. Let's see you with the Summer League team do well, have more opportunities, play out of your element and gain experience. In addition, they were with Team USA, practicing when they were in Vegas against our Olympic team. And all accounts were they both did really well, especially Trace Jackson Davis received praise from Steph and other U.S. Olympic players. They received great opportunity, developing in multiple ways, and they did great. Podziemski had a near triple-double of 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists. Jackson Davis, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists when they played in the summer in Vegas, and they got held out. If they were playing against the Heat, we'd probably win that game. My one concern, though, I didn't see Trace Jackson Davis really take a lot of shots. It was more layups around the rim, what we saw last year. But he said he was really working on this summer of developing his game outside of the paint, being able to shoot a mid-range, maybe even develop a 3 to give him a new dimension and make it harder on the defense. Didn't see that. Brandon, more consistent shooting. I think I saw that. His shot looked more fluid. He was running point, was working the team well. Game looked slow, finished at the rim. So they did a great job across the board. I'm very happy with how that turned out. And the question is, trade talks, not Trace Jackson Davis, he's here, but Brandon, would they trade him for Markkanen? Would they trade him for Ingram? The answer to me is no. He's on a cheap deal. He plays well in this system. He's someone who can take over and be the starting point guard when Steph retires. So he's not gone. You keep him with Kuminga, Moody, TJD. Now you add Post and Beekman. That's a strong young core as you blend Wiggins, Dre, and Steph with this young future. Now, again, Utah's out there. They probably won Cooper Flag. You heard all the rumors. If you didn't, he balled out with Team USA Select, was probably their best player. So the question is, would the Jazz trade Markkanen and get rid of him for cheap to be able to just tank and have the chance at a 13% opportunity to draft Post? We'll keep you updated if they do that. So across the board, it was a great summer for this Warriors team. We got better with the senior roster, the main roster, but these young players showed out. Congrats to Plowden for earning a 2-way contract. Congrats to Rowe for being a training camp player. Brandon and TJD stepped up. Knox probably earned himself an NBA contract with a different team, or at least a chance to be at training camp. And other players showed that they deserve to be in the G League or NBA roster to a degree by playing with this Warriors team. We went 7-1. We were 5-0 in the Vegas League. First time we ever ran the gambit undefeated in the regular season. And I'm very proud of how this team did. And you should be too. So comment your thoughts on what we talked about today. Was there anything we missed? And of course, Warriors fans, Summer League is now closed. We can dust our hands off, focus on Team USA basketball. Let's go, whatever team you support. And after that, It'll be a bit of a quiet period until training camp. But any news, we will keep you updated on a daily basis. You don't have to worry. Warriors Digest, Randy Silver is here for you. Out.